It's the new car review for old car nuts, the new Car Skeptic. And what are we skeptical of right now? How about a 2020 Nissan Titan SV King Cab? Yep, a two-wheel drive short box truck with a small block V8 and a back seat. Can the Japanese out-truck the good old boy full-size American truck? You might be surprised, kid. Nissan has been building mini trucks for America since they were Datsuns that sipped gas and ran forever back in the 70s. You know, when American trucks were the exact opposite of that. But those days are long gone. Oh yes, long gone. The new Titan grew up on some good barbecue and sweet tea. It's just as big and powerful as anything coming out of Detroit. But this one was bolted together in Mississippi, so, you know, it's got that going for it, which is nice. This King Cab is a two-wheel drive SV model. What does the SV stand for? No clue. Sous vide? Steve Vai? Salvatrucha? Pretty sure it just translates into pretty good in Nissanese. You know, not necessarily a base model, but no leather seats or chocolate fountain in the back either. So we're going to put this pretty good combination of features to work. How, you ask? Well, in this coronavirus summer, we've been hired to deliver some goats to a home office corporate Zoom conference call. Because, you know, goats! Turns out, in the weirdest year of our lifetimes, the trick move is to up your video conference game with a few of these guys. Now, the thing about goats is, they can't be bribed with fame or money. They like to chew on stuff, run in short spurts, climb things, and believe it or not, they like to ride in trucks. Turns out this Titan has the perfect truck bed for goats. It comes factory with a tough spray-in bed liner, 2 tracks in the floor that Nissan calls its Utilitrack system. There's a regular electrical outlet that we're assuming the blender can be plugged into, as well as a bunch of bed rail tie downs and even a handy hideaway step under the driver's side rear bumper to climb into the bed with. There's even some hidden lights into the rails that those midnight goat runs are probably good for. Now, since this Titan already has the extended King Cab with the back seat, we assumed the bed would be short. You know, it used to be you could either choose a long bed or a short bed when you bought your truck. You could lay a 4x8 sheet of plywood flat between the fender wells in a long bed, which meant that the short box version might be 6 feet long. This one is 6.5 feet long, but we're going to measure its total volume in goats after all. You know, because at the end of the day, we know you care more about how many of these weed eaters you can put in the back of your truck than some fancy schmancy load of lumber. So okay, after carefully measuring, your new Titan SV King Cab is officially either a 6-goat bed or a 0-goat bed. Nothing in between. It really depends on how you choose to live your life after all. We don't judge. We found out the hard way that our Titan seems to have a 0-goat, 6.5-foot bed, so we moved right away to its back seat. Nissan, in its infinite wisdom, not only built a pillarless 4-door cab to make it easier to put passengers in the back seat, but made the rear doors swing open so wide that they rest parallel against the bedsides. Makes it so much easier to get in and out. Also, the 60-40 split rear seats fold up and latch against the backrest so you can stash, tools, buckets, bags of cement on a rainy day, giant cauldrons of pea soup. All your valuable stuff you want to make sure no one takes from the bed while you're not looking can go back there. In our case, that turned out to be 3 goats. For nearly all of the terrain challenges that you'll probably face in a year, this two-wheel drive Titan will do just fine. Plus, you'll get around 22 miles to the gallon and something Nissan calls intelligent cruise control that keeps your speed adjusted for traffic. The truck is really well balanced, so it doesn't feel like you're losing control on hills with its downhill speed control. But don't let this cool nephew of your neighbor's old Datsun pickup fool you either. It's still a giant, full-size truck, and there's plenty of room inside for a few kids to hang out comfortably with you. It's got heated telescoping side mirrors with built-in blind spot fixers, which will come in handy, especially if you're towing your boat with it. And speaking of which, this one comes with a trailer hitch receiver and built-in trailer brake incorporated into the dash, which is pretty cool. The interior is just fine. You know, it's the basics of what you've come to expect from just about any new vehicle, much less a truck. Cloth upholstery, push-button ignition, which is an old hot rod trick we never get tired of. Fully integrated controls in the steering wheel. A 9-inch touchscreen monitor with all the basic entertainment goodies like navigation, CarPlay, a backup camera that you won't feel guilty for actually using, and enough width inside the cab that all your kids have enough space to avoid torturing each other. Look, Nissan knows where its bread is buttered. Most people are going to use this thing on busy streets more often than wide open prairies, so it's got what Nissan calls an intelligent around view monitor that helps you not crash into stuff like, parked cars, bikes, neighbors, etc., while the kids are in the back seat. Our Titan is running a set of neat brushed aluminum 20-inch wheels with black painted centers that come with what's called the chrome package option. And behind those wheels are big vented disc brakes, great for stopping a full-size truck with just under a 10,000-pound load rating, but tires and brakes are not going to be cheap to replace on this thing. Keep that in mind and you'll probably be less likely to do neutral drops and burnouts at your next sideshow night, too. And speaking of which, the 9-speed automatic transmission makes sure that you're not over-revving that big V8 either. And is it weird that this transmission features an old-school column shifter? Asking for a friend. Let's get back to that 5.6-liter V8. Nissan calls it the Endurance V8, and it packs 400 horsepower right off the showroom floor. No turbo or anything. It's about the same size as the balanced and blueprinted 340 in your fully restored Plymouth Duster, but it also makes over 400 pound-feet of torque, so if you're like us and you're all, Datsun, you can shake off that nonsense right now. With all this power and sheer size of our Titan, we'll admit we started, feeling our oats a little bit. Started thinking that maybe we owned the road, or path, or trail, or whatever, and didn't have to worry about what's in front of us. Good thing it's also got an automatic emergency braking system for those pedestrians running out in front of us. Those shorties tend to disappear in front of that giant hood, so the good folks at Nissan made sure we'd just be silently judged from a safe distance instead of, fielding calls from personal injury lawyers. After putting this full-size rear-wheel drive king cab through everything but a creek, we finally ended up at our destination just in time for a 3 p.m. conference call. Just like your own kids, ours may or may not have trashed the back seat, but Nissan made the interior of this Titan with all the creature comforts you'd expect from a new pickup 20 years into the new millennium.
Here's one goat.
Wombat, do you have anything to add?
Does the Titan SV set the world on fire? No. But the new Car Skeptic doesn't really believe that's what Nissan intended with this thing anyway.
Is that good?
Wakanda, there's no eating in the meeting.
If you need a pickup truck that can haul the mail as well as the groceries, and a pile of rocks and the kids, whether they're the 2 or 4-legged kind, the 2020 Nissan Titan SV will do you just fine.
Oh.
Super.
Oh my goodness.